morning. It's Friday, July 1st, 2022. Welcome back to BoomerRexTonight, your daily source for news and politics. I'm RisenLadyHeathen. Hey, asshole. What separates our show from other millennial news podcasts?
That we don't stumble around and trick to the fact that, yes, the U.S. did bad things in history, thereby making it a permanent bad guy. Basically, you dance with the girl that brung it.
Sure. We have a boomer, and not just any boomer. We have Mr. BoomerRex himself.
You have a boomer who didn't interrupt you tonight.
Barely.
And didn't convince asshole, which is my
You two eat, sleep, and breathe politics, and I'm learning that's three unique perspectives we share along with the facts from our literal round table.
Nope, I already used all my creativity in the pregame show.
Yeah.
I'm gonna curl up and take a nap.
We're going to have an interesting discussion later. But first, let's dig right into our headlines. Adoptions.
This one's just fucking weird.
It's never good. Why? Who's stealing kids now?
Orcas.
All right, that was not the answer I expected. Fuck, and I knew there was a trick.
Weird direction with this.
Yeah.
A pod of orcas was seen, accompanied by a baby pilot whale, who was swimming in echelon with an adult female orca, right, swimming in echelon, right next to,
yeah.
Right. Sadly, they didn't watch him for long enough to find out if he'd really been adopted. I mean, maybe he starved to death, or maybe he's just old enough not to need.
Yeah.
But this is the second or third time they've seen that. So, and there were no, there were no pilot whales nearby. There were no, it's weird.
Yeah.
So anyway, maybe baby pilot whales, or some of them go off and live with orcas for a while. Right?
Huh. Interesting.
I mean, if it generates anything like motherly feelings in one of those big female orcas, you're going to get fed.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and I mean, orcas are known to be excessively intelligent.
Oh yeah.
In a scary way, but also very, very violent. So I don't know.
They're predators.
Yeah, but they're like.
We're gonna get into the provoked attack thing again.
Human level, violent. They really are.
They're predators.
Yeah.
They protect their tribe, and they eat things.
No, they don't like being put in cages.
Sometimes they kill things for fun, like humans do.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
I am just saying that their level of violence is extreme.
Yeah, but that's true for a lot of cute animals, like otters then qualify.
Once upon a time when...
Otters hump things to death. It's us, otters, and dolphins on that weirdo list.
Fair.
Once upon a time, Asshole and I were coming back from Whidbey Island, and two little, sort of adolescent orcas joined up with the ferry, and they were playing in the bow wave. And they would scooch back under the ferry and then come shooting out from under it and jump and then slide back under. And they did that for quite a while. And we stood on the bow and watched them and so forth. And we're sitting there thinking, God, that must be neat for them, because they're riding the bow wave. They get to go really fast and so forth. And then their mommy called. And when their mommy called, they left that ferry like it was standing still.
Well, and you figure it's got to be true for them to be
fish
playing in the
go
bow
that
wave,
fast.
and it's really just they don't often get to see water in that shape.
Yeah. Well, and it does give you a push. I mean, it helps with the jump and everything. I'm sure they were.
Well, and you're going to jump well out of the water, which has got to be good and right. I've tried jumping out of water in very shallow water, and humans can't jump for shit.
So anyway, it will be interested to see whether this pilot whale offspring trooping with the orcas turns out to be a thing.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's kind of cute.
All right.
Keep an eye on that shit, science kids.
Now into something not so cute. End of public schools.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, with the whole country reeling over Roe v. Wade, Arizona made history. The legislators passed a universal school voucher bill that, once signed by Doug Ducey, will become the most wide-reaching school privatization plan in the nation.
Yep. Well, and wait until it gets picked up by every other person out there to ruin American children.
Oh yeah, no, this is gonna be the biggest grift in Arizona history.
This is the largest endowing of the American people that's ever happened.
Yeah.
So what is this doing?
Yes.
Explain this to us.
This gives this gives a family $7,000, a check for $7,000 that they spend at whatever school they want to.
Card, so somebody can get some in the middle money.
Yeah, or whatever.
There's fees.
So religious school, private school, good school, bad school.
No, real school.
Yeah, not a real school is what's going to happen. I guarantee it.
I don't think they're going to be going to class. I think we're going to see a lot more Arizona kids get run the fuck over in the coming years, because I think if you ask the American people to choose $7,000 a year, because you could educate the living shit out of a kid for $7,000 a year, really.
Yeah.
Like, assuming all the other stuff is pretty much taken care of, right? So it's all educational budget.
So is this just an extreme version of school of choice, basically?
It's an extreme version of vouchers.
Now, so I've never heard of school vouchers before. What is this?
Probably similar to what you're talking about with school choice programs, only
much broader.
Yeah, and systemized.
Yeah.
That you basically get, right, a chit for your kid's, right, slice of the education pie.
Right.
And you can take that to any school you want, or any school that will accept them, which is the actual trick here.
Yes.
Is you pull out all the kids, right? This public school system collapses in the vacuum, and then all the schools get really restrictive on who's going to go where. Or they tier it out and make it a merit thing, so like the really smart kids can go there for cheap, or whatever they determine to be the right kind of kids.
Yeah.
But you can pay extra to make up for your kids' deficiencies, and no, it's a horrific thing.
Now this
And it's going to make for dumb kids.
Well, and again, this sounds like it's trying to encourage homeschooling.
That'll be fine. Loads of the money will end up there, simply because they've been in this grift for the longest.
But part of the issue with homeschooling is that you need to have a parent that's at home to do that.
Really?
No, you don't. You get your $7,000.
Mm-hmm. Which is going to be
Who do you think is going to inspect the homeschool?
Yep. So.
Well, don't
best,
even homeschool kids, don't they need to like pass tests like regular kids?
Sometimes
make it to
in
the
some
next
It'd be
grade?
nice if they did.
But there are plenty of states that'll let you out of that. Most of that you could opt out of if you were really determined. So.
Some states require that you take periodic standardized tests.
Yeah. Or you have to move when you're 17. One of the states that doesn't.
Yeah. Or 12, or whenever the next one is due.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, this is horrific. The worst part is that it really is plug and play for other states.
So is this similar to pushing the concept of charter schools?
Charter schools are definitely hip deep in this.
Yeah.
This is the brainchild of charter schools of that type.
If you were looking to follow the money, charter schools would be a good place to start.
Yeah. They're the newest entry in this grift.
Kind of, sort of. I had heard that Arizona would give $7,000 to parents for education yearly, and I was like, under what circumstances? But it sounds like they just give everybody who has a child of school age is going to get a check for $7,000.
If
and then they
pull
take
them out
it,
of the school.
My
and
guess
they take
is
it to a school.
my guess is the ones who attend public school won't get it.
Yeah. So there's
And
a
then
big
Arizona
incentive.
can spend $5,000 a year on each student in public school.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Plus,
That's a
also,
guess. I don't know.
kids will leave, go to where they think are good schools. No, exactly.
Yeah.
This sounds like a terrible.
This is
idea.
the machine designed to collapse public education as a concept.
Yep. Well, because the dumber you are, the more likely you are to be taken in by the horse shit.
The bigger a dumb population we get, the more we can fit the American founding ideal that if you weren't born rich, you were fucked and going to die poxy in the street working for someone. Working for your betters, right?
Yes.
Again, this isn't me pissing on America recreationally. This is me having an understanding of what the late 1700s were fucking like.
Yeah.
And America everyone listening to this, everyone who's got fucking internet, most of you wouldn't have qualified as white to the founding fathers.
Yep.
You had to be real fucking waspy.
Anyway, it's a disastrous idea.
It sounds it.
Well, it frees up a whole bunch of money to be sent to new places with new people who run it and
it's
donations. And
Yeah, the money's going to get out wherever everybody who's got a voice in this has already chummied up with some piece where the money's going to pour out.
Oh, yeah.
Right, the homeschooling thing. And I agree with your point that you start out with the premise of, so if the goal were to actually educate kids, the problem is...
See, here's my thing. If this was really about helping educate kids, what it would be is you would say, sign up your kid for the local public school or whatever, and the public school would get that $7,000 check for the year.
Which they very well may. I don't know.
They do.
I'm saying it seems a good scam for them not to.
But that's my point, is this sounds way more scammy than just, when you decide which school your child is going to, we will send that.
Well, that's kind of the way
school
it's worded. We'll
$7,000.
see how it's implemented.
If your article didn't have debit card, then I read a different article.
Oh, mine didn't go that far.
Okay. Yes. No, they can get a debit card for homeschooling and all the various. There's a way for parents to directly get this cash ass money.
Oh, yeah. This is
Which
for
is what the
homeschool
poor
expenses,
will do.
tutoring, online
Yes.
courses.
No, and they're going to do it
Yeah.
with the best of intentions, the same way people make bullshit. Whatever what do the idiots do on New Year's Eve? What's that thing? The lie they tell themselves. New Year's resolution.
Right.
Right, that they're going to start with all of that good intention, and that's absolutely not going to be what fucking happens.
Right.
And
I personally doubt it was with good intention. So
I'm talking about the parents.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
All right.
I'm the only part that matters in this. The other people are already rich. Right.
It doesn't mention public. Will give parents who opt out of public schools you said debit card. It's there.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Bank tells bigots to fuck off.
What? No bullshit.
The British Bank
Oh, fine.
Halifax.
Okay.
The British Bank Halifax announced that its employees will now have the option to list their pronouns alongside their names on their name tags, which I think is fine.
Yeah.
And
I don't think that's a bad idea in concept.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, now you've been told, now be polite.
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
Yeah. So
No,
anyway,
if there's time for me to read your name tag, that's fine. Also, you there, motherfucker, has worked on every human, and pointing has worked on every human I've ever needed it to.
So anyway, they were just inundated, right, with messages from customers who objected to the new policy. And so the bank responded. So to some of them, they responded with, we're giving our colleagues the option to add their pronouns on their badge to help create a more inclusive environment
Hell yeah.
for our customers and colleagues.
Yeah.
Another response suggested that if customers disagreed with the bank's policy on inclusion, if you disagree with our values, you are welcome to close your accounts.
Yeah.
There we go.
Way to go, Halifax.
Maybe. This time, yes, you got this thing right. I don't have a good 3x5 card for you in my head, because fuck, I'm old, and that's how my brain does the filing sometimes.
Yeah.
So I don't know that you were involved in rigging something or some other scam. I mean, you're a bank, so I kind of want to just naturally spit at you. But good job on this day, today, or whenever you made this good choice. Please don't turn up next week and fucking run over puppies or something.
Right. All right. Unreliable.
Yeah, this is the only time I think we're ever going to talk about it. But there were the reports of Trump misbehaving and wanting to be taken to the, and Tony Onato, who was a Trump, he was a
True
Secret
believer.
Service Trumpista, had said, well, it didn't happen and so forth, or was reported to have and so on. But he's already known to have credibility problems, a very convenient memory, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But it's worse than that, because at this point, CNN says several members of the Secret Service have approached people and said They don't know if he actually grabbed the steering wheel, but he is
That's the story that
reported
was
to
going
have
around.
lunged forward and screamed at people, "As I'm the motherfucking president of the United States, and you can't tell me what to do."
Can I just say
So
that nothing that Miss Hutchinson said triggered my brain to be like, no, Trump would never do that.
Oh,
Everything she
yeah.
said, I was in my head picturing Trump
Yeah.
doing exactly those things and saying, yep, I could see him doing that.
I have no
So
trouble
I
seeing
feel
him throw
like
quite
the
the
bigger problem with this is not whether he did or did not, is the fact that, oh yeah, I totally could see him doing that. Yeah, that makes total sense. That totally fits with everything I know about Trump.
Absolutely.
And the fact that it's the whole concept of the appearance of impropriety, right? The appearance of impropriety is in cases worse, and I feel like in this case, this is certainly an appearance of impropriety that no one's going to be able to come to me and say, no, Trump would never do that. Because if you come to me and say Trump would never do that, I'm going to laugh in your face and say, he did similar things this time, and that time. I got video of it. You want to try to tell me that the rest of this is unrealistic? I don't think
Shove
so.
the president of Moldova.
I don't think so.
no, the thing to remember is that Trump has badly fetched up trash.
Yeah.
So
And again, like
ill-fitting
this
suits.
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if he actually reached for the steering wheel. It doesn't matter if he actually threw plates. The fact that when we all watched this, all of us pictured him doing exactly these things.
Yeah.
That's all that fucking
No,
matters.
those are my 2 points on this. Is one, that's the true degradation of the office Trump managed to succeed at. And I am more curious, and we're never going to get a good answer to it, as to whether or not it was just Trump's base cunning that had him put a Secret Service guy in charge of, right, TV and the interfacey networky bits that made him weird, that he wasn't quite fish or fowl, as far as anyone could tell. That's a good way to flip the Secret Service.
Yep. Well, he had somebody in the Secret Service to supervise.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, while he took them out to various campaign rallies before there was a vaccine for COVID.
But it's how you disrupt
a
chain of command based system.
Yeah.
And I can't tell if that's functional intellect on Trump's part, or
No, I think it's just
weird
surrounding
instinct.
himself with.
Yeah, the
toadies.
most corrupt people turn their most corrupt side towards Trump. I can see that.
Yeah.
But I will find out.
Yeah.
And again-
I already didn't we do on the show the way we would give the Secret Service an out on this about, right? We expect
Yeah,
the
I
Secret
think
Service
we
to
talked
lie.
about it the other day. Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, my main point here is whether this really happened or not doesn't matter. It's the appearance of impropriety and the fact that all y'all pictured him doing exactly these things as she described it. I could see him doing that. Whether he did it or not, I don't care. The fact that I could picture him doing that is damning enough as far
Remember
as
when
I'm
we used to
concerned.
freak out about brown suits?
Yeah.
And how that was destroying the office of the presidency?
Jesus. Anyway,
Anyway,
um,
but
I heard something good about Trump today.
What's that?
Roger Stone says he's going to announce his candidacy in July. That would be so good
Do
for
you
America.
know where he announced it?
Where that came up from Roger Stone?
No.
The Alex Jones show.
Oh, of course.
Uh-huh.
So,
And you have
anyway.
no idea, Alex Jones was like a kid at Christmas time. He was so excited.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, he was all about it. Oh, that's
So,
really
It
good.
is
Anyway.
weird to see a horrible animal happy.
Yep.
No, I
And know that what he's babbling about doing is going to hurt him.
Yeah.
Now, whether it'll hurt him bad enough, I don't know. But it might.
And it all makes sense, right? Trump has to get in the ring now. DeSantis is
Oh,
pulling
yeah,
even in Florida.
Yeah, no, he's not going to be the nominee if he can't get the air out of the room.
Yep.
no, I think if DeSantis runs and he's talking about running, I don't think Trump has a prayer.
I think if he announces in July, he will be the only candidate. I think he will be the nominee,
Yep.
and I think he will have severely damaged his chances of winning.
I think it gets him a Twitter account back. I think it may get him a Facebook account. Yeah. No, I think the media will do the exact same thing they did last time. They will cover it. They will play the clips of him as opposed to reading it and just going, nope, that's a lie. Starts out here, first sentence, a lie and bullshit. He's wrong about this number here.
So, hey, America, when that happens, you can tune in here and we'll do what the media should have done. Every fucking time.
Well,
Why?
here's
What kind of
the
stuff do we
thing.
have?
Here's the thing. If Trump announces on the 4th of July that he is running, I say we all fucking ignore it. We don't talk about it for at least a week. Like it never fucking happened. Nobody mentions it for at least a fucking week. Because what's going to piss him off more than being ignored?
She's not talking to us. She's talking about the professionals.
Right. Well, they should have ignored him and they didn't.
Yeah.
Yep. And when they don't, we will be on with
I would mention it briefly as a side note. And today Trump announced his candidacy. Now, in the more important news, like just fucking brush over it, pretend it's not nothing.
Yeah, no, there's some ways to do that that aren't awesome for Trump. Yeah. No, I absolutely agree, right? You brush it off and you make it the political play, right? You make it the fucking process story.
Dude,
they need it to not.
Make it a goddamn punchline and move on. Be like, so, in today's lighter notes of funny
the inevitability, because
Trump thinks he can win the next election.
It's the inevitable move he has to make because he can't trust DeSantis to pardon him. Right, and since he's really the only threat to DeSantis' presidency at this point, including the fact that the Democrats are probably fucked come 2024 if it's not Trump running. We have a lot of momentum built up that direction. We have a lot of people who are quite willing to believe that everything bad that happened in America started in 2016 because we, like all Americans, have the best selective memory.
Fair.
True.
All right, not an ally.
So you got to admit, the Ukraine-Russia conflict is fucking unique. Because it's got Boris Johnson saying things like, the consequences for the world are absolutely catastrophic if Russian President Vladimir Putin's war machine prevails in Ukraine. Yeah, he's right. He has described Ukraine as being on a knife edge. Yep, absolutely. And the thing you have to remember, this is Boris Johnson saying this. And the only thing that Boris Johnson wants more than to stay in power is to have London go back to being Londongrad.
True.
Because those people agree with him and they funnel money into his party. He is not an ally of the Ukrainians.
No.
He's well attuned to what the British public wants.
Yeah. I just want to say that Boris Johnson, in my opinion, is a slightly smarter version of Trump.
Stratospherically smarter version of Trump.
Well, and I didn't want to because I feel like he's definitely a much smarter version of Trump, but I don't want to over-exaggerate it. But I really do feel like he is Trump, except, smart and knows how to play the game and blah, 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 blah. Like all the things that Trump isn't. Like
he's baby Bush in the era of Trump. George W. Bush knows exactly the difference between a Shiite and Sunni.
Yeah.
He absolutely knows how to pronounce nuclear. Right. He chooses not to because that makes him sound yokely in a way that makes other people agree
makes
with
him more relatable. Yeah.
It makes him less a geek.
First off, it avoids his father problem of saying just a splash when it was coffee or whatever. Skosh. Was it a skosh? Somebody asked to refill his coffee and he said some effete word and the news laughed at him.
Yeah.
So, no, Boris Johnson absolutely is right. He fucks up his hair like that on purpose.
Oh, yeah.
So, no, absolutely. He wants to go back to the easy, ideology-free, right?
Easy money. Easy Russian money.
And obsessed with appearance.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And it's by and large the same parts of, the Twitter parts of the left, or the Twitterer.
Tweetier?
Twitterer?
Yeah, Twitterer.
They're called tweets, so it'd be tweeter.
So, yes, but the more often of.
Tweetier?
Yeah, exactly. That's how we got there. Parts of the left that were quite happy with Hillary Clinton, who would have absolutely done damn near the same tax cut. Right? Would have agreed to whatever rules the FCC needed to agree with whatever current realities of ownership were.
Hey, Democrats, keep Wall Street Barbie the hell off your stage.
Keep corporate Democrats off the stage.
Peace. Starting with Wall Street Barbie.
Yeah. No, I think the Gen Zs are going to, again, it was huge. fucking people should be fired. Careers should be ended over the stupidity of fundraising coming out before tactical orders.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
because that one, it's the thing the media is going to harp on, which means whatever you do eventually come out with is going to be labeled as the thing you should have started at.
Yeah.
So no, I
All right, Too Crazy Freedom Fest.
TOO or like the second.
Too crazy for the Freedom Fest.
Oh, did I
Who's this?
Nick Fuentes
Oh yeah,
had his invitation pulled.
good.
He says it's all the Jews, right? So
That's all that happens when you pull the string on that.
Globalists.
When you pull the string on that
Definitely the
Muppet,
globalists.
that's all he says. Right.
Yep.
And the other Muppet's just saying the Jews, but with a bigger vocabulary.
yeah,
That's what pisses me off about modern conspiracy theorists, is they've all devolved into fucking slimy elders of protocols of Zion bullshit.
yeah. Anyway, he was supposed to take part in a panel called "How to Fight the Information Police."
I bet you $1 you could start an Ice 9 fucking conspiracy at this point.
Okay, for all
Because
y'all
none of them have read fucking
that
Slaughterhouse.
don't understand the Elders of Zion and conspiracy theories in general, we did a whole episode, I think
Yeah.
2.5 episodes really, on conspiracy theories.
We'll wait
Go-
for you to listen to it.
Yeah, go
Right,
on our
that's
YouTube
good.
and search. If you don't want to bother looking for it yourself, go onto our Facebook, BoomerRexTonight, no spaces on Facebook.
Smash that like button.
Yep, smash that like button, hit that follow button. Send me a message, and I will send you the link to our either YouTube or Podbean, whichever you prefer. And that way you can listen to our conspiracy theory explanation and our deep dive into that. So,
Excellent.
yeah, no, that's good things, and it'll help you understand a lot when we talk about this sort
So
of stuff.
besides Nick Fuentes saying the only words, it's a noun, a verb, in 9/11, only something else for him.
Yeah. Conference organizers admitted that they didn't properly vet Fuentes. To which my response is, were you born last night,
even
or are you
vaguely.
simply
You
stupid?
didn't basically vet him. You didn't run him through a simple fucking Google search.
Yeah.
Which
Just-
would have made you go, ew,
Yeah.
yuck.
Here, wipe this off my hand.
Yeah. Well, I need a new phone. The algorithm thinks I might be a fan of that. Let's just burn this phone down and start all new accounts on everything.
Boomer Rex's about damn time. Do we have good news?
Yeah, Frederico
Someone died.
Klein, he was a Trump-appointed State Department flunky.
Did he die?
He was arrested last year for taking part in the January 6th riots, and he's been claiming that he was unfairly targeted. So anyway, they have video, and the DOJ lawyers have taken the video to the court to say, hey, here he is, right here. I got video of him doing, right.
Fuck you, I'd put 4 dudes to watching all of that video, and ladies, hit 90s with it, me.
Well,
And
go
look
ahead.
for new charges.
Well, they keep looking, and they're saying, it's, Portland and January 6th, or, everybody attacked federal buildings. Yeah. The folks in Portland were there at
Write that
night.
down. We should talk about that judicial annex.
The Portland rioters attacked inoperative federal buildings, right, with nobody there but the guards, et cetera, and they weren't trying to interfere with the orderly transfer of the presidency of the United States of America. It was not an armed coup attempt.
That kid who threw the big firecracker was super scared, and he wasn't even the one who made the fucking thing. No, there's a complete difference in tone. There was no, very few gallows arrested. It's not usually the left that's down for the ex parte or extrajudicial killings.
Yeah.
Usually. I mean, fuck around, you might be able to make that happen, but... Right, again, the left is more, their body count is more from accidental failure to clear the room before the bomb went off. So, as morally complex as the bombing of when the French killed the Hussits on the Nitwit boat, Greenpeace.
Yeah.
No, this is more of like, remember when we covered that 15-minute Tucker Carlson rant?
Mm-hmm.
And, the fact that everything he mentioned, like even vaguely, I was able to Google search and find, They're not putting any effort into trying to hide that they're lying through their teeth on a regular basis.
The name of the vessel was Rainbow Warrior.
Yes, and they got Rainbow Warrior 2 in less than 24 hours.
Yeah.
I may pretend and like breeze over shit. It's just because if I go on Wikipedia, no one listens to me.
Yeah, okay.
No, and the French guy that did it felt bad, and like that's
Yeah.
some shit that happens and gonna happen when you do it that way, right? It's why that was the improper way to do that boat. You actually had to go on and put the bomb on the inside,
Yeah.
so that your final sweep out covers everywhere there could be a human, and you're still gonna roll some dice because humans turn up in the weirdest fucking places.
Agreed, but you can run through the boat shouting, "Get the fuck out, get the fuck out."
Oh no, and shoot your gun a couple of times. Yeah, no, I had some fun with it.
And who's going to tell a French?
Yeah, Frogman, who's about to be backlit by explosion, hopefully not full of chunky
I'm not
salsa.
going to argue with him. I'm going to
No.
try to catch up.
Yeah. Doesn't even matter if I speak his language. I'm just going to do what the man in fucking spandex with a gun says.
So, are we ready to move on, or?
I am plant security. If you see me running, try to catch up.
I got lost by thoughts of men in spandex. What were we talking about?
Federico Klein.
Yeah, we're done with him.
Okay, cool. Dumbass of the day. Yes, a whole state tonight.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
A group of Texas
Barnabas fetch
educators.
snacks.
A group of Texas educators have proposed to the Texas State Board of Education that slavery should now be taught as involuntary relocation.
Fuck. That's right there, up there with unpaid
Hey,
workers.
we have a word for involuntary relocation. It's called slavery, motherfucker.
Right?
Just saying. Like,
Or-
why?
Well, I mean, I guess it depends on how the story ends after you get, right, relocated.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes if you end up on reservations, you're the Indians, and that's a whole different war crime. Or,
I just,
yeah, no, of course, again, it really is as striking as when they were saying unpaid workers when I was a kid.
I actually never heard the term unpaid worker.
I know you didn't grow up in the South where they were pretending some other thing happened. It's like the German school books that conveniently skip from like mid 30s to early 50s.
Well, we even talked
It's just a
we
big
even
stamp that
learned
says
about
everyone got along.
indentured servitude in
Oh.
like 4th grade.
Yes, because the Irish get to get all fucking riled up about it. And I say that being Irish and enjoying getting all riled up about things. But
Yeah.
I can do a whole song and dance about why servants' quarters are shitty in fucking Victorian houses for some rude reasons. And the faux embrace of multiculturalism or lack of racism New England likes to pretend, because New England doesn't have a racist bone in its body. It just happens to hate every insert race here.
Yep.
They just happen to bother to learn the person's name first.
They actually showed us videos of, back when, they were trying to get black rights and stuff, where they
Yeah.
were spraying people with
With
the
fire
hoses and stuff. Like, we saw that in school. Like,
Yeah.
I watched that.
No, for sure.
And it was scary.
Yes.
This was when I was young, and I'm glad, because if I
Yeah.
didn't know that had happened, things nowadays would be a lot more
Fuck.
confusing for me, but it all makes sense because I was taught that.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I just realized what it is that makes millennials different than the Gen Z kids. That millennials were the last generation taught history with no regard for age appropriateness, not, or at least with wildly
little
less
regard.
than
Yes.
what we do now. Because now I know kids who are getting to be like 14, 15, and they're getting their first introduction to World War II when that was like 3rd grade.
Yeah. We read a book called Stepping on the Cracks,
Yep.
which was about a World War.
Yeah, Number the Stars.
Yeah.
I know there's but
Yeah.
that was right getting read to us in like 2nd and 3rd grade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And part of this is a thing I don't know well because I got homeschooled at a weird like handful of years.
Mm-hmm.
So usually right around the time we were moving.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So I don't know what the hell most of like public school education is. Like I was having physics class in 4th grade. So
Yeah.
All right.
Yeehaw.
Time to prosecute.
So it's come out that Mark Meadows had an associate attempt to manipulate the testimony of Hutchison. So what they said to her was, a person let me know that you have your deposition tomorrow, and he wants me to let you know that he's thinking about you, and he knows you're loyal, and you're going to do the right thing when you go in for your deposition. The person was Meadows. We don't know who was the person who actually conveyed the message to her.
How is it not Roger Stone? Roger Stone, I might be disappointed in you if it's not.
I suspect we know, or in the
Yeah.
process of finding out. I'm sorry, this is witness tampering.
Yep.
This needs to be charged, prosecuted, and
Run it down.
imprisoned.
Can I just say that I totally called this? When we watched the January 6th hearing where Hutchinson was talking, and at the end they read two different, threats, I was like, the first one, which is the one you just read, that was pointed at Hutchinson. Guaranteed. I said, I guarantee that was pointed at Hutchinson. And you just confirmed it. I fucking called it.
What I wanna
I'm really
know-
proud of that.
She was told she should bear in mind that Trump will be reading the hearings transcripts.
Trump can't read.
Trump
He
can't read. That is so laughable.
Maybe he has someone read it to him and
best
says his name a lot to make him stay interested. Like,
Holding up pictures.
yeah. Like drawings and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
maybe they make a pop-up book for him so he can like flip through all the pretty pages and pull out like the little things and then have somebody read it for him because he can't. Just fucking crazy. All right,
Okay, we need to kidnap one of the art kids. Because I thought about it. None of us are artistically inclined enough to actually make a pop-up book. But we have to make a pop-up book. Because I just need to see a pop-up Ron DeSantis peeing on Trump. From a bush or something. When he,
Would you settle for a cartoon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe. You can do it with the internet.
Yeah.
AI, come here.
All right, Star Visitor.
We're going to save that one because it's funny, and we're going to end. If that's okay.
Must be some bad shit on this.
Criminals everywhere.
Yeah, we're going to skip that one.
Jesus shit. So, a thing from the pregame show that I didn't get to say because I was busy trying to find out the math. On average, people lose a pint of blood per minute per stab wound. You can lose 2 pints of blood. And so that's why shark bites, even probing shark, like just checking bites, are catastrophic for humans.
Oh yeah.
So there you go, internet. There's some context-free creepy shit for you.
Why are we skipping criminals everywhere?
It's not worth talking about.
Then why did you? You know what? If you have second guesses, that's why we do the pregame show for you to be like, by the way, Risen, we're not doing this story because of blah blah.
All
blah.
right, so we're going to talk about the Texas county, where the Texas county where the census says they have 57 people living there, and where they have 97 people registered to vote. So this is a little county in the middle of nowhere where a couple of family groups and their allies are fighting for control of the county for a simple reason, that it gives them access to a $28 million budget.
For what?
So you've got 57 people
What
that
do you
live
need that kind
there,
of money for?
and you've got, well, they're a very oil-rich region, so
Oh,
they get
yeah.
lots of money.
This is so dumb and gross.
Yeah. Anyway,
We're going to skip this? This is great. This is the kind of bureaucratic bullshit.
57 people live there, and they have a county budget of $28 million a year. Just give each of them $500,000 and walk away.
And dirt roads and no
fine.
school, no
For a $500,000, yeah.
How many voters do they have?
Well, they have 97 people registered. They have
Interesting.
57 people who live there.
Where are these other 40 people coming from?
About 30 miles down the road. Or wherever. Texas has a rule that says...
Well,
you
they've
can-
been dead for 35 years.
Yeah. Texas has a rule that you can plan to return. It's like a fucking right of return for Texans.
Yeah.
And so they're allowed to vote in places where their vote will matter more. Like here. And I have no idea what the actual generation of history about it is, but that's what the problem is they've got a bunch of people who either grew up here or whatever, but they've owned enough property or have whatever they need to claim they live there.
or want a slice of that $28 million a year. Yeah.
Hey, I'm all for it. I think we should nationalize all the oil and do the Alaskan Special Reserve or whatever the hell they call it. Brain, I'm pretty sure Alaskan Special Reserve is a whiskey.
Yeah.
All right. More subpoenas.
Just great. So, several of the people who were involved in this have been subpoenaed. But now Donald Trump's Media and Technology Group has been subpoenaed by a grand jury in Manhattan on Thursday.
Yeah.
This is related to the SEC regarding a civil probe. Anyway, it's, and of course, don't forget they have a CEO, Devin Nunes. Oh, so I bet Devin's cow is worried.
Yeah.
Anyhow, again, the good news is that their absolute disregard of what is right and proper and appropriate and so on appears to extend to business matters where some of those mistakes might be punishable.
So I'd love to see it.
Yep,
All right.
we'll see if it happens.
Yeah. Do we want to do the Star Visitor updates first?
We'll do our updates first.
Okay. Health threats.
All right, so one dead and 22 have been hospitalized in a listeria outbreak that appears to have started in Florida. And at this point, we have no idea what the vector is. Is it coming off lettuce or
Yeah.
whatever? Takes a long time for people to get sick from listeria. So anyway, this was just in case you thought COVID and monkeypox were your big threats. Listeria hasn't forgotten about us.
Basic human failures to clean some basic shit.
Yeah.
Get you every time.
All right. Climate weirding.
This is cool. So, a number of countries have started to have, 10% of the U.S. electricity comes from renewables. All right, which is not bad on a worldwide basis. Denmark's way ahead of us, etc. Chile's way ahead of us. But in the countries that are switching over, the thought was always, crap, we can't rely on renewables because, at night, if the wind dies down, we got no electricity. We're fucked. So the interesting thing is that the big energy companies in those places have begun to think about, how do you manage this? And they're realizing that up to 50%, they can manage it now. So anyway, this is a huge step in the right direction to have the big utilities.
Yeah.
Because it costs less to bring on a solar watt
Yeah.
than it costs to bring on a coal watt.
Yeah.
So the interesting thing is that, and this is purely business, right? Is that they're looking at how do you manage this situation and coming up with ways to do it, right? You need storage, you need this, you need that. But they're actively looking at and trying to solve this problem. By the way, I know a statistic that will help with this. For years and years and years, and probably still true, do you know how the FAA evaluates the acceptability of a two-engine aircraft? That if one of the engines gives out, it has to be able to fly 400 miles with like 99.9% confidence. Do you know why?
Because that's the distance to emergency plane airports.
Because that's the distance to different weather.
Oh, cute.
So that if the airport's directly below you or unusable, 400 miles away, you're going to find a runway with no
Cute.
clouds.
Nice. No, that's good. I like
Hey,
that.
Boy Scout.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you in a little bit.
Yeah. So, all right, let's go back to the Star Visitor. While you're talking about that, I'm going to run away real quick. I'll be right back.
Okay. No, I just thought I had never heard the full thing, and I thought this was amusing enough to go through.
It's like Last of the Starfighters.
No, this is Romana Didulo. She's the Queen of Canada, head of state and government, president and national indigenous chief of the Kingdom of Canada. And recently she's been promoting herself as Queen of the World.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lady Generalissimo batshit. What's going on with her?
Fucking nuts QAnon.
Yeah.
So she tells her followers of her supernatural abilities. She claims she can become invisible by cloaking herself. This power is not unusual for beings of her race because she is not of this earth. She is a member of a highly advanced alien race, an Arcturian, an alien being with special celestial powers. They possess medbeds. Medbeds, according to her, are advanced healing chambers that cure medical ailments, regrow limbs and organs, reverse aging, and can even make one immortal.
Watch this.
She claims to be the reigning monarch of Canada because she discovered that the Chinese government had clandestinely invaded secret underground tunnels that crisscrossed Canada. And with great difficulty, she commanded her forces and cleared the tunnels of the Chinese communists.
Yeah.
She claims to have access of billions of dollars stored at the Vatican. And she claims to be a shapeshifter who can assume any physical appearance that she chooses. The U.S. Commander-in-Chief has assigned her to end the war in Ukraine. And she's a personal friend of Vladimir Putin, who gave her an autographed watch. And how crazy. The sad part.
That's the point.
The sad part is that some number of her followers, and she tells them they don't have to pay utility bills, etc., etc., etc. So,
yeah, she gets taken down the sovereign citizen path for free.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But watch this. Turns out the queen of all Canada and all life forms everywhere, great and small and whatever. She's actually secretly an Arcturian, and they have medbed technology.
Yeah. So sadly, some of her followers are putting off medical treatment so they can get on the medbed.
No, it's just funny to me.
This was so crazy that you look at it and say, if you heard a person say this, if any normal person heard someone say this, they'd walk the other way and possibly run.
I find it hilarious because the medbeds are standard amongst about 4 of these alien cons that are going on right now.
Okay.
It is really generic-y shit. Partly because of the way we fucked it up, and we know they're going to get sick. We know it's going to wipe out what no money they had.
So give them hope of something else.
It's the same reason people get into fucking Eastern medicine when chemo is really expensive and shitty.
Yeah.
And there's some chance what you're getting isn't chemo, or that you don't have cancer. And so there's a lot of reasons to distrust doctors.
Yeah?
Yep.
And so here's someone who says you can just snort ground up spider, and that and whatever else you're snorting probably make you feel better for the rest of the day.
Right. Arcturian spider.
Yeah.
Fair.
Or Arcturian cocaine, but which of the two, I know which I would sign up to snort.
That's true.
I'll take the spiders if that's like a deal. Like if they have cocaine
if I
for
get
blood
to
or
see
something.
the spider,
Just remember, raptors will kill you for chocolate.
That's what I'm saying.
All right.
All right. So tonight I want to do a bit of a discussion about Democrats backing down. All right, because this.
I object. That
problem.
implies they have a gear other than reverse.
Well, let's start with something from way back in the day. Obama dropped the ball. We wouldn't even have to worry about this whole abortion thing if he had pushed through a law like he said he was going to.
Challenged.
So thanks, Obama. This is partially your fault. I'm just gonna throw that out there. But I specifically was reading. I decided to search through OAN and they didn't have anything fun. So I went on Fox News. And lo and behold, Fox News had something fun. Arizona Democrats promote Fuck the Fourth event to mourn Supreme Court abortion decision. Yeah, no, I've been seeing those Facebook posts and I'm all about it. So they say a local Arizona Democratic Party deleted a tweet promoting an event called Fuck the Fourth. The event which the now deleted tweet said was being held in the Tucson, by the Tucson Women's March, was promoted by the Pima County Democratic Party on Twitter. Fuck the 4th, see you at Reed Park, the tweet stated.
At least they're having an event.
Bring comfortable shoes, water, lawn chairs, posters, and your anger, the event description reads. After Fox News Digital reached out for comment, the Pima County Democratic Party deleted
Said
the
ninja dust and ran away.
deleted the tweet. In a follow-up thread, the Pima County Democratic Party said that posting the graphic was a quote mistake, but it still supports the Fuck the 4th event. PCD.
So if you were in favor of this thing, come throw rocks at me. And if you were against this thing, feel free to continue throwing rocks at me.
So let me finish real quick. It's short. PCDP posted a graphic advertising a women's march, which we agree was in poor taste. We were eager to share the event, and in our haste, we used the graphic provided by the event organizer. That was a mistake, and we'll do better, the Pima County Democratic Party tweeted. Make no mistake, however, we support the event, which will be held on July 4th at 7 p.m. in Reed Park. The event was organized to help women in our community grieve for the loss of their bodily autonomy, which we consider an elemental right. Weird choice of wording. They also said that while the graphic upset some people, the outrage should be saved for the women in this state who will die of botched abortions. Our posting of the graphic upset some people. We urge you to say blah, blah, blah. The Tucson Women's March has posted multiple retweets of other users tweeting the hashtag Fuck the 4th. This July 4th won't be the same. It will be a solemn occasion. We have lost rights.
If you're having an event, it's absolutely going to involve hippie chicks fucking behind that wall over there.
What I'm saying is that I'm thinking that they pulled it because of the fuck, because it said fuck the 4th.
I'm sure.
But again, like, Democrats, stop. Yes, now is the time to swear. Now is the time to be rude. Now is the time to not be quibbling over, I might have hurt some people's feelings because I used a naughty word.
It was
Fuck
okay
that shit.
to be the civility police. Not really, but it was forgivable to be the civility police when we were discussing the thing that causes 60% of bankruptcies in the United States. It was okay to be forgivable to be the civility police when we were discussing pick a thing. This isn't that anymore, right? There aren't any Mitt Romney's the only Mitt Romney type Republican in the Republican Party, and he's not even like a good person.
Yeah.
Right? We're already right. Soft whateverism of low expectations.
Yeah.
If Mitt Romney and fucking Rule 64 Dick Cheney are the good people.
Yeah. But again, this is just, Democrats, make a stand, stop backing down, stop apologizing, stop feeding into all this bullshit about, oh no, my poor virgin ears, fuck you. Fuck off.
Be the
Why?
party of sex, drugs, and rock and roll. That's way easier to sell. Plus, it's way easier to explain why that party fucks up.
If anything, what the statement should have said was, if you are offended, be offended. If you're offended by anything in this post, be offended that we have to have this discussion about the fact that the 4th of July is supposed to be celebrating freedom in this country. And we have lost freedom in this country.
If I'm ever incapacitated, you're going to be the one that has to talk to a mom. If you're offended by the word fuck, you aren't offended nearly the goddamn enough about them repealing Roe.
Yes.
Agreed.
Thank you. That's exactly what I was trying
That's
to
how
say.
you work a fucking mob. Don't give them a third or second. They've been fucking pre-gaming before they got here.
Yeah.
Agreed.
No, Democrats, what the fuck, man? Pick a lane. Right, left side road fine, right side road should be on fire, middle of road should also be on fire, and will be sooner because you can get shot from both fucking sides. And I'm really murdering the shit out of this, not a metaphor. But fuck, man. We apologize for having said the thing. Did they cancel their event, or did they just pull the everything? Like,
No, they just pulled
already
the
fucking dumb.
graphic.
Yeah.
Was the only thing they pulled because the graphic.
so it really is. If you were in favor of this, now feel free to be angry at us. And if you were already angry, throw rocks. And most of the people who were pretending to be angry were going to throw rocks no matter what the hell you said.
Yeah. No, I would have doubled down on it. I would have posted it again with a different like background, but the same fucking message. No, the Democrats, stop it. Just fucking stop
Republicans, you will find, are quite enough of an enemy for you. Stop being your own enemy.
I
This
was
whole
going to say
politically
exactly
correct
that.
Bullshit needs to
The
be
problem with today's
fucking put on
Democratic
hold.
Party is that the American Taliban doesn't have to beat you. You're
Yeah.
too busy surrendering.
We'll be
Self-flagellatory bullshit. Masturbatory self-flagellatory bullshit.
Yeah, no, we'll be civil again when there's reasons to be civil. Right now, there is not a single. Name me one reason why I should be civil as a female in this fucking country, or as a woman who menstruates, or as a woman who can potentially have a baby, or a person who can potentially have a baby.
Yeah.
My point is that this is insane. And no, I'm not going to be nice. And no, I'm not going to watch my language. Fuck off.
Yeah, no, Democrats, you dumb. Like, the youth vote's really angry about this. You should just let them be angry. This is the problem of not being able to talk to anyone who's angry at the Democrats.
Well, they're trying so hard
Yeah.
not to embarrass their corporate donors.
To be the Republican Party of the 90s.
Yeah.
They will promise an orderly transition into kleptocracy, which I think luckily it's looking more and more like most Americans are voting on something closer to Mad Max meets, I don't know, sunburns.
Yeah. Mad Max meets Somalia.
Yeah.
So, hey.
Yeah, but we lack oceans to go out and do good pirating, so I mean highways, but I think they'll stop shipping.
There.
Oh.
All right, so I have decided that we are going to do a 4th of July extravaganza on Monday instead of just the news.
Okay.
So I'm going to, because let's face it, when we first started this podcast, we were doing fun stuff for each holiday, and we kind of skipped over Easter. We kind of skipped over, there was a couple other things that happened, and we just ignored it. So I want to go back to that. I'm going to research the 4th of July.
All
and
right.
we'll find out the history of, the 4th of July. I have the whole weekend. So,
Excellent. I'm looking forward to it.
yeah, I think it'll be a lot of fun. And we'll learn what is the 4th of July about.
Absolutely.
What did it used to be, and how do we look at it now?
Hoo-ah.
Has it changed? Is it the same? I don't know. So let's find out together.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so we'll see you all on Monday for our 4th of July extravaganza. Oh, wait, I didn't read
Yeah,
my...
you got a whole
oh
ass
my
spiel.
God.
Yeah.
Well, I got a cat on my shoulder. He's distracting me.
I think he's distracting you now. Wait till he falls off.
Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, heart, follow, review, smash that like button on YouTube. Go to BoomerRexTonight, no space on Facebook for fun memes and a link to our Patreon. Give us $1. Yes, I have been back into posting memes, so you definitely want to go there. You can find us on YouTube as BoomerRex, or check your favorite podcasting service for BoomerRexTonight. We can be found on over a dozen different platforms, including Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Samsung Podcasts. Hit us up on Twitter at BRexTonight. And if you Google BoomerRexTonight, no spaces, all links will lead you to us. Also, go to patreon.com and search for BoomerRexTonight, no spaces. You will find us and give us a fucking $1.
Or more.
Yeah, or $6 or whatever amount of money that you feel you want to give us so we can keep yelling the news and our opinions in your faces.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So yeah, we love you all, and we will see you back here Monday for our 4th of July extravaganza.
Love how like you can see.